underlying air traffic control issues continue to cause delays for passengers. And unfortunately, this summer is not going to be any better than last year. I would, however, like to acknowledge that if it were not for the actions and intervention of Eurocontrol, the situation would in fact be much worse this year. So far this year, ATC capacity and staff shortages have caused 71% of air traffic control delays. This summer's forecast is 2.43 minutes average en route delay per flight, and that's against a target of 0.5, so almost 5 times worse than the target. And in reality, this translates into a 30 to 45 minute delay per affected flight. Eurocontrol's long-term report predicts that summer delays will jump from about 12 minutes per flight in 2016 to 20 minutes per flight in 2040, and that the number of flights delayed by 1 to 2 hours will increase 7-fold. And this means that around 470,000 passengers each day will be delayed by 1 to 2 hours in 2040, compared to about 50,000 today. National ATC providers have not taken any decisive action to address the root cause of the problem, and neither have national governments. And both clearly must act now to ensure that consumers do not suffer anymore. Airlines are working hard to improve our efficiency, but ATC providers are taking too long to improve. They must catch up with the rest of the industry. We won't and we don't want quick fixes, because quite honestly they're not going to work. This is a structural problem and it needs structural solutions, and we need to see a long-term solution implemented now. Now, this next chart I think you'll find interesting, because the Eurocontrol statistics appear to show that since 2016 weather delays are more prevalent every summer. Now, some of you will have read that. What is most interesting, however, is that the statistics also appear to show that bad weather tends to take place at weekends. Now, I'll let you draw your own conclusion to that, but it looks like understaffing at weekends is being misclassified as weather delays. Now, this chart shows where the problems lie. And it's not just customers who are suffering unnecessarily. The environment is also suffering. ATC problems lead to increased emissions in Europe. A recent EU environment report found that network inefficiencies in 2017 were responsible for a massive 5.8% increase in CO2 emissions. Airspace inefficiencies means that airlines have to operate longer flights, sometimes up to 30% longer, with 27% increase in fuel burn. And because of the underlying ATC issues, and that they remain unaddressed, airlines have to reroute and fly longer journeys, creating additional CO2 emissions. On the chart you'll see the 3 offenders. These are perennial. Marseille, which has the lowest capacity ever, in fact, this year, due to resource issues. When we have issues in Marseille, when we have strikes in Marseille, nearly 50% of Vueling's flights are affected. Karlsruhe, in the centre there, is the #1 location for en route delays, responsible for 16% of all air traffic flow management delays in Europe. Now, for years there has been an issue of understaffing in Karlsruhe with insufficient air traffic controllers, and this continues today. And then Maastricht is the busiest airspace worldwide. It handles up to 80 flights per hour, which far outstrips any other ATC centre. And this means that any issue that we encounter in Maastricht will automatically lead to extra delays.